Well, hey, everybody. It's Karyn here who forgot to raise her mic up, Angie. How are
Oh
you?
wow. I'm like,
I was
what's
like,
happening?
I was like, oh, there, I forgot to do this.
It's an
Hey, whatever.
earthquake in LA.
Yes. Welcome to What Had Happened Was. KB here with you, and apparently I just need to make maybe one more tweak on this. But who are you?
I am Angela Overkill Hill. I am a UFC fighter and I'll be fighting next week. That's why I'm like all like right now. I'm pretty lean, feeling
Yeah,
pretty
you
lean,
are.
pretty mean. And yeah, we got Karyn Bryant, the best UFC anchor in the field over here. I had the pleasure of talking to her a week before my fight, so that's always cool.
Yeah, well, what's up? Yeah, and I'm working your fight this weekend, so I'm very excited for that.
Oh, nice.
Yes. But I just want to welcome everybody to the show. You are maybe watching this on my YouTube channel, Karyn Bryant. And if so, why don't you hit that subscribe button while you're here and hit the notifications, because we do lots of shows here and lots of cool things. So maybe you could check it out, or you could be watching it over on Angie's Twitch and you can tell them about that. Tell them about it, Ange.
Yeah, I gotta dust that thing off. I haven't used it in forever.
You gotta start using it more.
Dude, yeah, I was getting a little self-conscious. I'm like, I can't be on here losing in the gulag while all my fans are watching. Like, I need to grind a little bit. So I haven't picked it up in a while, but at least we can get some content on there right now. So if you guys follow me on Twitch, then you might be seeing it there. But if not, you can go to twitch.tv/Angie Overkill, and that's my Twitch channel. You might be able to see some old video streams too. I don't know. Maybe don't look at those.
That's so cool. Well, I just want to say hi to, we have friends like Joe Boza is here saying, hey, awesome to see us. Had Baz Wax is talking about 269. Yeah, we are definitely going to get into that. We have Adrian Yanez with us too. So we're going to have him jump on in just a few. But Ange, I feel like we got to start off first and foremost with the fact that I was shocked. I'm not going to lie. I was shocked that Julianna Pena beat Amanda Nunes. I didn't expect it to go out like that. I thought if she could win, if she won, I did think she could win by submission. It seemed like obviously that's what everybody thought, but I didn't think she was going to light Amanda up as much as she did on the way to getting that submission. But I was surprised.
I was flabbergasted. I was shocked. I was literally sitting there on my couch by myself. By the way, I'm by myself this weekend. Adam's in France, cornering our homie Wilson Hayes. But I was on the couch by myself, and I was just like, "What? What?" Like, I think a fly could have flown in there very easily. It was insane. And I think the craziest part was that Pena had more power than Amanda that night. She was throwing more volume, which is kind of always the case. Usually people throw more volume against Amanda and she's able to be slick and move out the way and then hit him with that nice clean like right hand or a nice like 2-3 punch combination. But Pena was able to just frustrate her, throw punches, like, and she doesn't have like the most boxering looking technique.
It's a little wild.
It's wild, man, but that's the stuff that throws you off. If you're used to a certain rhythm or a certain style, and then someone comes in there like Pena, and this is like her entire career since Tough, she's always come in with this wild style. You're like, dude, she's gonna get countered, she's gonna get punched, like people are gonna see it coming. They don't. She just goes, rah! And you're like, ugh! And that's what happened to Amanda. And I know, like, I didn't think it would happen, but there was always that possibility, because Pena in every one of her fights where she's won, she has been the underdog, she's always come out on top. She's always surprised us. And it's like, if you're her, you're like, what's to stop me from doing it again? So that was insane way for 269 to go. Man, Nunes still the GOAT. I still love her. She's still my queen. But awesome job to Julianna Pena, like insane.
Yeah, it was a great performance for her. I did think the same thing, that because she is wild sometimes, that she was just going to get countered, that she would just leave herself and just like wide open and head up or something. So I was surprised that that she was able to land as much as she did on Amanda without, I mean, she did get countered, but like you said, power for power, it seemed like Julianna actually had maybe an edge on Saturday. I think that, it's weird how quickly Amanda tapped. If I'm honest, I was a little surprised, but I'm not there. I'm not in the fight. I don't know what else hurts. You know what I mean? And it was that type of position where, Julianna is really good at it. That is what she's known for. Maybe you just know the inevitable is coming and you don't have what it takes to get out of a position like that. You're about to get flattened down anyway. So, maybe it's that type of thing. But I know like people are trying to get conspiracy theories going and stuff like that about her tapping fast and, she threw the fight so they can have a rematch and make more money. Come on, people. Come on.
I think it's easier to make money as a dominant champion. I think it's a lot harder to lose the belt and then come back in and make the same money you were making before you lost the belt. Like it's a big pay jump every time you defend the belt. So that I would throw that theory out. Yeah. But one thing that could have happened is her jaw could have been compromised when she was getting punched. She ate a lot of punches. Yeah. And then it was to the point where they're just standing there trading jabs. Like what? Like when have you seen this happen in a title fight? Two fighters standing in front of each other, trading jabs, both eating them, but Nunes was like getting the worst of it. It seemed like she was the one who was wobbled, who was rocked. Like all of Pena's damage was more superficial. So I think that just that one punch, there was like a 3-punch combo that Julianna threw that it was like the third punch got through, landed on the chin, and ever since then Nunes was just like wobbly. Tried to play it off, tried to even smile through it, but was just getting wobbled every time she got hit. And I think the more you hit that jaw, the more likely it is that it can get like kind of messed up, like cracked or something, or even just swollen to the point where if somebody's on it and squeezing, it hurts and you want to tap, like you feel like your jaw's gonna pop out of your skull. It's not a good feeling. So I wouldn't say that she tapped early. She could have tapped to exhaustion. She could have tapped to a sore jaw. But it wasn't under the chin for sure. But Julianna seems to have that squeeze too. So
for sure.
Yeah, impressive.
It's funny though that you said that you were watching alone, because I was too. Basically, Aurora was with me, but she was drawing and doing stuff. But so I was bugging out too, and I had even commented to her, I'm like, "Look at Mandy between rounds," because Amanda's like all smiles between those first that wrap from 1 and 2, and then the next thing you know, everything just went wrong. And so I was shocked too, and I was just kind of freaking out at what was playing out. Now I do want to say one thing, and I want to get to Adrian. One thing that bothered me, and Julianna she's feisty, right? She's feisty, and she speaks her mind. And in this case, she spoke her mind a lot, and she was able to back it up. But she said something afterwards that I really didn't like, where she was basically, she was saying that she should be really called the first true mom champ, because she said, no disrespect to Amanda, but I gave birth to, my child. And so I'm, really the first mom champ. And I know what she's saying. And I'm a person who had a child as well. And so I know what she means, like to have gone through that and change your body like that and to come back from that. It's absolutely incredible. I just don't like the idea that saying that a woman who doesn't give birth is not a mom. I don't like that.
Hey, but where were you when all the Michelle Watterson things were out about her being the first mom champ?
I know
Amanda Nunes was reigning champion.
Did she and Nina have the baby at that point yet, though?
I'm sure she said it afterwards.
I don't know. No. Believe me, I would say the same, but I guess
I'm sure she said it afterwards.
I know.
Fuck that hoe. No, Karyn.
No, I remember the mom champ. Yes, I remember the mom champ.
You're not making excuses for Michelle Watterson.
I'm not. I'm just saying, because to me, it just slighted. It just slighted everybody that's ever adopted, or everybody who, you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't, and it seemed like such a cool woman, like it's a woman empowerment thing. We got 2 badass women being champs and all this. And then it was like, you just alienated a bunch of, like, it just bummed me out. I know the sentiment she was trying to get to. And I agree with her. It is an incredible accomplishment to have done that, to give birth and come back and do that. I just wish she had phrased it a little differently.
I mean, I can't be too mad at her because I too think that it's harder to be a mom who gave birth and still do the physical feats that you have to
It
do
is.
as opposed to a mom who adopts. And
Yeah.
yes, your time, you have a lot of time that you have to spend nurturing this kid and loving for this kid and providing for this kid, but your body didn't go through the physical changes that a woman who had birth did. I mean, who knows? Maybe there's a woman in the UFC who was a surrogate for a bunch of times, a surrogate mother, and she wants to be the first surrogate mom champ. I don't know, but all I'm saying is, like, it is hard to bounce back physically.
For sure.
From, I mean, people get excited when they have not even a six pack, but when they can get rid of the baby fat.
My body was trash. It trashed my thyroid. I'm on medicine for it for the rest of my life and everything. I gained a ton of weight. Like, it took me forever to get back. So no, that's what I'm saying. I 100% agree with her that it's an incredible accomplishment. I just don't like the idea of calling people who didn't give birth not moms.
Yeah, no, I think it just has to. I don't know. I think it's just one of those weird things that was gonna come up because people were focusing on this mom champ thing so hard. Like, I feel like the push for mom champ always made that hard conversation lurking until someone finally did
just said it.
Because then, it's almost like the media is goading you into saying it too. Like, how does it feel to be the first biological mom?
Yeah, I know. Now
like, the media goads you into saying these things. It's like when I was about to fight Watterson, and they're like, how does it feel to be the first Black woman to headline a card? I'm like, that shit didn't happen yet. Like, I mean, I guess it feels good, but I thought we were past this. I thought it happened already. So it's one of those things where, like, you're kind of like, oh wow, well, yeah, I am proud of myself. Like, that was really hard, and I don't think, like, obviously she didn't mean it that way.
I hope not. That's what I'm saying. I know, because people said that to me. Like, do you know you're the first to do it? I'm like, I know, I actually didn't know, but okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
I get it.
I'm not mad at her for saying it. I think a lot of it's going to be one of those divisive issues, though, right? People love that these days. Let's get another divisive issue going, and it's one of those things where it's like, okay, who are you siding with? Are you siding with biological moms or adoptive moms? Like, are you anti-LGBTQ? Like, are you this or that? And it's like, no, we're just saying that it's hard to. It's hard to bounce back from being pregnant. That's all it is. It's hard to bounce back from first pregnant champ. How about that?
There you go. First pregnant champ.
First champ that was pregnant at one point.
Exactly.
Cut mom out of it.
I was just gonna say that's the whole thing. It's gonna become first, having given birth, because nobody's whatever. I tell you what's good is that we have Adrian Yanez with us, because what's good about him is he has not given birth, ladies and gentlemen, but he has given birth to an incredible career in the UFC. He's just been on a tear since winning on Dana White's Contender Series, freshly off a win over Davy Grant the same night that Misha came back against and had a fight against Ketlin Vieira in the main event. But listen, Adrian, thank you so much for joining us. We're happy to have you.
Oh man, thank you so much. Thank y'all for having me on. You know what? I might have not have given birth, but I was in the delivery room yesterday with my significant other, and the baby is here. So yeah,
congratulations!
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I am not a mom champ, but I was in there supporting a mom champ. The whole entire time. So yeah,
that is incredible.
Junior's here.
Congratulations, first dad. On what had happened was.
Second dad.
Like
Christmas. Wait. So what? So you have a son? You said it's Junior.
Yes, yeah, Junior. I have a Junior. Yes, ma'am.
Oh my gosh! So how big? How big was he?
So he was 7 pounds 12 ounces, and he was 20.5 inches long.
Wow.
Solid. How's Mama feeling?
Oh, she's feeling good. All natural. Didn't do the epidural. Was close, but opted out. It opted out and just was like, no, I'm gonna do it, and did it all natural. Thankfully, no complications whatsoever. Even the doctors were surprised with how well she did. I was like, oh my goodness.
Well, that is a warrior.
Yeah, you
man.
married a fighter.
I was like, give me the whole cocktail. Give it all.
That's so fun. Well, thanks for doing this day after a big event like that.
Yeah. I'm still at the hospital and everything. So like, yeah,
Amazing.
like
Oh
I'm
my
back here. Like I
God.
would flip the camera over, but she's a little bit indecent
Oh,
feeding the baby and all
I
that.
know.
Baby.
That's so amazing. That's so amazing. Well, so it's. I mean, people always say this now. They're like, fatherhood changes. When you're a parent, like I don't know, you're going to know it yet, but I wonder if you are going to be a different animal the next time you walk in the octagon.
Oh no, I had definitely felt it a couple times, like
Uh huh.
throughout this, even just this whole pregnancy. Like I always was like, no, I have to win. I have a baby on the way. I have a baby on the way. I have to like go out there and like spectacular performances. I gotta get knockouts, the bonuses, all this. So it's gonna help. Sorry, excuse me. It's gonna help me out. And and I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. Like being cooped up in a hospital and then drinking all these sodas, doesn't do well. But
It's okay.
but uh but no, it definitely put a different like stride underneath me. And then like
Yeah.
holding him yesterday for the first time ever, I was already just like, I'm giving you everything. Like I'm putting
Oh,
everything. Like it. I have a new like like it might just be because like everything's still new, but
yeah.
Mm.
like holy crap, I every single time I look at him, I'm just like, yeah, this is little me, and I'm gonna give you everything. Like this is like holy.
Aw.
Like I can't. It was like it's kind of hard to explain because it was just like, man, he's here. Like I'm not doing enough. I gotta do more. Like, oh man, when I go home, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. Yeah. So things are piling up, and I can just start feeling the changes, even though the changes have already started to happen. But yeah, I'm definitely like like I gotta do more, man. College fun. College isn't cheap, and all
Yes.
and babies
Right.
aren't cheap, diapers aren't cheap. So yeah, $50,000 every single time I go out, added extra, is always fun.
It's like you weren't already doing that, like
Right. I was gonna
that's
say, no, that's
amazing.
amazing. That
How
is
many
amazing.
bonuses
I
are you
love
gonna
to hear
take,
it.
man? Like
All of them,
shit.
all of them.
That's crazy. Good job. Good job. It's really awesome having that motivation. Like
Yeah.
I'm sitting here like, damn, maybe I need to have a kid real quick. Like
Just real quick. Just real
just
quick.
real quick, just real quick. Yeah, just boost my morale. But that's amazing. Congratulations.
And thank you. Yeah, it's a blessing. I've been in cloud nine for the past. Well, now it's like honestly, it's probably been like about a little bit over 24 hours.
Okay.
Nice. Nice.
Fresh.
Nice.
Fresh dad.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it's we when we asked a couple of weeks ago, we were like, "Hey, who do you guys want to hear from? Who do you guys want to have on the show?" And literally, yours was the number one name, you and Terrence McKinney. And so, what was like number one and number two? So, Terrence, what's up? You're up next.
Yeah.
But it's seriously by popular demand, and it's so interesting because there's different ways to make an impact in the UFC, and in the way you came in the cool way on Contender Series, and whenever we're working, we always like to give an extra push to guys that came off Contender. It's just kind of nice, since it's like the farm league for us and everything, and so it's always something that we like to promote a little bit more. But I just remember I'm like seeing your name for the first time, I'm like, okay, cool, and then it's like, damn, that was a hell of a fight. See you again a couple. All right, okay. And then I remember, the Costa fight. I was like, well, well, okay then. And now with Davey Grant and stuff. So it's been really cool because I do feel like now it actually feels like it's been kind of quick, but at the same time, I don't feel like you're going too fast, right? So do you like the way that your career is going so far in the UFC, or do you kind of want to take a big jump up next?
Man, honestly, it's the way it's been going is it's I feel like it's kind of fast track, but because I wanted at least I wanted to be on those Cerrone numbers where I was fighting like
Mhm.
5 to 6 times a year, but like even then, like every single fight has been kind of just one fight, and then there was like another step, like but it was a
Mhm.
bigger step than the one before, and then it's just constantly just been bigger steps. And
Yeah.
I'm completely cool with like the step ups every single time I've been getting them. So whoever's next, I'm cool with it. But like how everything's kind of just fallen into place has just been a big blessing on my end because I've always felt like I've been an entertaining fighter, even from like my regional days to now. Like I just always fought 100%, and every single time I fought, I always had the intentions of stopping some guys. And this my UFC career has just kind of just been a reflection of that, and just honestly, it's been amazing how everything's planned out, and just getting the recognition from everybody. Like, man, like I still kind of fan out whenever I see people like Israel Adesanya like my post, or he shares something like, and then seeing like everybody, like I go to the UFC events and I'm just still looking like, oh crap, like that's so cool. That's like, oh man, Alan Jovan, seeing him, I was like, I don't want, I'm trying not to freak out. I got to keep my cool. And then just seeing everybody, I was like, hey, no, okay. Then actually this last time around, Tucker Lutz came up to me. He's like, man, like I'm actually like a really big fan of you. And I was like, he's like, man, it's kind of weird. Like like you UFC fighter being starstruck. I was like, bro, trust me, I am still going through this right now. I was like, my debut with Anderson, like I had Anderson Silva, was like, I was so afraid to take a picture with him that my buddy asked if to take a picture. I jumped in. I was like, trust me, hey, look, man, I completely agree. I'm still starstruck by a lot of these guys, and trust me, like I'm still trying to just figure this out right now. So just the fact that everything's kind of just flowing with it.
Yeah, keep that energy, because that's gonna make you excited about the next day of work, like keep being starstruck, keep being excited about your future. So I want to know if you have any fights in mind, or have they asked you about anyone, and if you do have anything in mind, is it like a ranked opponent, or are you still looking to keep building before you bust into the top 15?
Yeah, there's been a lot of great fights that actually been like I haven't even had like the chance to call anybody out. They've been calling me out. So like the fact
they're jealous.
That
jealous of the limelight.
The fact that I that I haven't had to say anything, and I'm just getting my name called. So I'm like, all right, this is cool. Sean O'Malley's a great fight. He just fought. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see hardly any of the fights yesterday. But
you were busy.
I was doing something way better, but yeah. And then I heard like yesterday, I just heard the rumbles after everything settled down. Everything was going. Tony Kelly had called me out. There's a lot of guys that have called me out, so I'm just like, all right, cool. That's 100% cool. I'm cool with any of those fights, but they're gonna have to wait till April or May, because man, I was like, I gotta make sure, especially for the early stages of junior's life, I want to be at every appointment. I want to be there like 100%. So I want to make sure I get acclimated to having a baby, and then going into a fight camp and doing all that, because I know I'm gonna be exhausted, but I just want to make sure I'm good there.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because your life is I mean, it's about to be radically changed, and it's crazy because my daughter's 15, and literally every day I still look at her, I'm like, I made a person. Oh my God. Like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? It's like, it's a trip. It's literally a trip. But like you said before, even too, I'm like, do I have enough money for her? Do I have enough money? Like, am I doing this right? Like, what? Well, oh my God, am I doing this right? So that will never go away. Just heads up on that. But yeah, the bantamweight division, it's so interesting, because even if you missed him last night, I'm sure you heard Kai Kara France, beat Cody Garbrandt. We know that there's a lot of things going on. We know that TJ's still going to be out for a little while, but like, you already are in a position where like, people would be like, well, I'd watch Adrian versus Cody. You know what I mean? And people would be like, yeah, I'd watch that.
Oh yeah, that's a fun fight too. But it's also kind of one of those things that I don't like picking on people after like they've taken a loss. It doesn't, to me, like the Davey Grant fight. To me, I thought that was a great fight, because it wasn't like, whenever you took that loss to Chito Vera, I didn't take that and look at as looking at a loss, because he was in the fight the whole entire time. Like I look at that fight like a fight with like Cody Garbrandt, just seeing how he got knocked out by Kai, and I'm just like, I don't want to take that fight just because, like, man, he just got knocked out in this last fight. It never really kind of looks good, even though it's a great stylistically great matchup. I'm just like, that they just got knocked out. Just, I don't know. It's just probably just another sense of me too, because like, people were asking me about Frankie Edgar, and I was like, no, I don't want to. No,
right.
Give me someone who's like on the up, right?
Yeah, and I don't think they want to. To be honest, they probably don't want to fight a slick boxer right now either.
No.
You know what I mean?
Especially too, because like, also adding to the Frankie Edgar stuff, because I still remember him as a legend and everything. So I wouldn't want to be the the guy that like, because if I fight him, I'm pretty sure like I'm the up and coming guy. They'll probably want to be the guy to push me or push me into another status, or be like, oh, he's taking out a young contender or something like that. But if I go out there and knock him out, it's like I don't want to be the guy that knocks out Frankie Edgar. I don't want to do that. And then also too, if I go out there, because I like watching Cody Garbrandt fight, I wouldn't want to go out there and knock him out and be like, oh well, he's already on a loss streak. It just wouldn't do, like I wouldn't feel right, just personally, because like, oh well, O'Malley said it. I don't want to say, I don't want to be that guy, but he's like, he hasn't won a fight since 2017.
Yeah.
He got knocked out in his last fight. He didn't look good when he fought Rob Font. And then the fight before, I think he fought Rafael Assunção, and then the fight before that, I think he got stopped by TJ Dillashaw.
Right. Yeah. The Assunção knockout
phenomenal.
Was amazing. Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
But at the same, it's just kind of just like,
it's tough though. I get it. I mean, it's tough because Cody can't help but get drawn into a firefight, and it's just lately you're just like, I don't know how it's gonna end, bro.
Especially at 125 too. That was a really rough one for him.
Right.
But I do have a question from an Instagram follower.
Oh yeah.
Dari _90 asks, how does a fight against O'Malley end?
Oh, I starched the guy. Yeah. No, I think it'd be a great fight. I think it'd be an absolutely great fight, but I feel that I would be able to get into the distance and shut his lights off. I definitely feel like I'd close the distance pretty well. Like I especially kind of just the fight before, when I was watching him fight that Chris Moutinho guy. Even though he had a shutout performance, you know how you can, like, fighters can look and see and just see like, oh, there's something there. And after seeing, I was like, I see what I want. And after seeing it, I'm like, okay, I know. Well,
Moutinho also just kind of stood there in front of him. Like, I mean, it was amazing, but he didn't move. You know what I mean? He never really kind of got off the angle or anything. He just was like, I'm here and I'm like I'm a zombie. Like, it was amazing.
And it was just O'Malley just circling the fence and just like Chris Moutinho just kind of just running after him the whole entire time. I was like, there's not something to it, but there's something you can add to make that ring a lot smaller.
No, I totally get it. It's like he had the pressure of a fighter that would beat O'Malley. He just didn't have the offense to go with. It was only pressure.
I'm looking at the rankings right now, and like what about like you and Song Yadong?
That would be a fun fight.
Yeah,
that would be a fun
good
fight.
one.
And I've known him for a long time. So I actually had interviewed him years ago when he was still in a promotion in China. And so like he was just a teenager, and it was amazing. And like he's so good, and he's so fun to watch. So I would totally pay cash money for Yanez versus
I would too.
Or like a Kyler Phillips. I'm looking at some of these guys. Kyler Phillips could be cool. Casey Kenny would be fun.
All those guys are fun fights, man. It's always cool because I think of myself as a fan, so all at the same time, like I kind of wish I could take myself out and keep the same person there and just watch myself fight these guys, because I know what type of a fighter I am. I'm gonna go out there and like fight to the very end. So I'm like, I think this would be fun just to go watch. Like after going back and watching like the Randy Costa fight and watching the Davey Grant fight, just sitting there and just watching them as a fan, like flipping the fan and fighter switch on and off, like it's fun, because watching as a fan, I'm just like, dude, those were fun fights. And I was like, but switching it to fight, I'm just like, you're an idiot, dude. Like, why are you taking all this stuff?
Well, that's the whole thing. I would actually want to know, because do you know when you're having a good fight? Like I know from my end, when we're doing a show like last week's or whatever, the post show we did, like you can tell we were all vibing, we were having a good time. It was funny, jokes are flowing. We can tell it's a good time. Do you know in the middle of the fight, like with Randy, I know the first round was a little rough and then you were able to turn it around, but can you tell in your head, like, this looks like a classic to me? I think like what are you saying now? Basically you didn't know until you watched it after.
No, so with the Randy fight, I knew that first round wasn't for me, and I went to the corner kind of pissed off. I was like, it's not me. It's not me. Like, what the fuck? Like, I was mad at myself. I was like, I'm better than this. I'm absolutely better than this. And then flip the script. And then that Davey fight, I honestly had felt like I was doing enough throughout those 3 rounds. It didn't feel like I had that fight. I didn't feel like I dug deep. except in the second round where he hit me in the throat twice. So he punched me in the throat, and I remember in that fight just like kind of like it was just like 30 seconds left of the second round. He hit me in the throat, and I just remember just like almost suffocating for a second. And I was like, just walk around, act normal, act normal, act normal, act normal. And that was just me, just kind of just like walking, like circling off and everything. And right at the end of the round, hits me right in the throat again. And I just remember being like, oh, what the fuck? Like, sorry for cussing, but I was just like, what the? I was like, again. And I just remember being in my corner, and my corner just asked me like, hey, like, tell me to do this. I'm trying to cough, trying to listen to what they were telling me. But I was like,
Oh,
I'm trying to focus. Like, I was like, water. And then going into that third round, I don't know. I felt like I was just doing a great job of just circling, countering, and everything. I at the time kind of looking at the fight now, I can see how many people are just like, oh, he's landing big shots, but like I was shoulder rolling in the fight. I was like, oh, that didn't come close. But watching the film after, I was like, oh, like I can see why they thought that landed. I was like, oh, okay. But then
by they, do you mean Tony Weeks?
Oh yeah,
the judges, because it was a split decision.
Yeah. So I actually was asking like people around, like I know my corners are super biased. I asked them, I was like, hey, like, did y'all like what's up there? And they're like, no, it was clear cut. And I asked Aljamain, he was like, nah, that 30-27 was pretty stupid.
I totally thought
it was definitely stupid. 30-27 was weird. It was weird to see the third round where Davey started coming and throwing all these punches, but then when you saw the replay, you could see that they were hitting his chest or hitting your chest. So I think like
shoulders and everything, you know.
Yeah, everything but the chin. So it's like you can see maybe the judge was at a certain angle where it looked like it was here instead of here. I don't know, but
so that was the thing too, because that's what I was trying to be very like non-biased whenever I was watching the fight, and I was seeing, it's like, okay, like because for a second I was really pissed off at Tony Weeks. I was about to start starts about tweeting at him and everything. But I'm not gonna blame you. I'm not gonna do that. Let me be the better person. I started watching the fight, and then just started seeing, like, I was like, okay, well, they're at a lower level. They're kind of pushed back. They're looking up at the fight.
I love how many excuses you make for them.
I look.
He knows he's got to fight again, man.
You're so humble. I'm like,
I'm talking about cigarettes and vodka out here.
Right after the fight, they tweeted out the scorecard, and I was like, oh, he must have been texting. Like, I'll be passive aggressive a little bit, but right now I'll make all the excuses, but when we get off, I'm gonna be like, man, what the fuck is Tony Weeks looking at?
Right. Yeah. No, that's messed up. You know, so listen, you had said you're still a fan, right? So how old are you? You're 24?
28.
28. Okay. But so who did you, I know, still very young, who were like some of your first favorite fighters to watch, right? Because you've obviously been doing this for a little while now. Like, who's the first ones that you were watching where you're like, damn, that boy good?
So it goes back to, like, I was watching it, like, okay, so the one that got me into, like, just watching MMA in general, I was watching Spike TV one day, and I saw Matt Hughes slam Carlos Newton on his head, and it was the Ultimate Knockouts. I can't remember if it was like 7 or 8 or which one it was. But that's whenever they were running them back to back. They did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I saw that one, and I was like, man, maybe I should look into this MMA thing. I used to think it was like a bunch of weird guys in underwear, like rolling around and all that stuff. But now I see what it is now. But after watching, would just watch Anderson Silva, and then after like getting introduced, like, to the UFC and watching Anderson Silva, I started watching all these other promotions like WEC, started seeing like Jose Aldo, Dominick Cruz, Uriah Faber, all those guys, and I was completely amazed and was super fans, and just like I mentioned him earlier, but Frankie Edgar, I was like a big like Frankie Edgar fan just because he was a small guy beating up the bigger guys, and me, I was always the shorter guy. I was like 5'7", small guy and everything, and then just seeing like Jose Aldo just wreck shop, and then Dominick Cruz wreck shop, Uriah Faber wreck shop, and just seeing those guys just kind of just blow up. Like, I have, like, even though like Dominick Cruz and Jose Aldo are in my division, I still have this immense respect for them that, like, I would feel bad knocking them out.
I think they'd love to hear that.
No, I know, but I have so much immense respect for him. I wouldn't know how I'd feel about signing a contract like with them on the other side. I would absolutely like it. It'd be a weird thing for me because I'm just like, man, I thought by the time I got here, they would already be like in the Hall of Fame, like Hall of Fame.
But you
like,
could literally,
retired.
you could totally fight Dom.
Yeah, it's right there. I don't think he would take a fight with me just because he wants the top 5. He wants the belt. He wants that belt back, and I'm like not even ranked. So I don't think he would take that fight. Only if there was like so much like they were like, oh well, we can throw you a couple million to fight Yanez, and that's so unrealistic just for that. But yeah, he's trying to fight forward. Like I completely respect that, but I had to be ranked for some of those guys to even look at me. So.
But even if he fights forward, you'll still be here. You'll be going forward too. That's what I'm saying.
As long as he keep moving up.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, especially with how good he looked in his last fight, that he probably fights for like a title next, depending on how. Oh yeah, that's the whole. Never mind. There's a possibility because that top 3 is like kind of like a clusterfuck up there. So there might be a slight chance.
Yeah, we don't know when Aljo can really come back because he thought he could. I mean, he's training, but they didn't clear him. You know what I mean? So yeah,
there's going to be a lot of movement in the middle.
And Jose looked great the other day. I mean, Jose's still getting better too. That's the thing. People act to, granted he was the champ for so long, but people tried to write him off. He only turned 35 in September. Like he's not 50. Like it's like everybody's trying to like be like Jose better ride off into the sunset. Like nope. No. I mean, Dom doesn't have to leave either.
See, that's crazy to me because I thought they were so much more older too. Like I was going on there. It's like, man, I've been watching them since I was like 15 years old, and then all of a sudden, next 13 years later, I'm just like, oh, like they're still here. Like, damn, how good are they? Like, and how because I just think about just like how well do they really take care of their bodies? Because there's guys who like they're 35 and that age that like just completely just obliterate their bodies by the time they're 30, and they're still competing at the highest of levels and still looking young and refreshed and so good. Like that to me is like actually like something to like I admire.
Like some people who might be in the chat.
I mean, girl, I don't know.
So I want to ask, when did you start like boxing training? Because your dad was a boxer, right?
Yes. He was a boxer back before he enlisted in the military. So like, he was back in he was like competing in El Paso, Texas, and like Alamogordo, New Mexico, and all that stuff. But he as soon as he turned 17, he enlisted in the military, and then after that, once he got out, he met my mom, and then after that, we were born. And pretty much, I went through a deep dive. I talk too much. Sorry. But,
that's okay, because it's full circle. Because you're sitting here with your son. One day he's gonna be telling these stories about you. How crazy is that? Oh my god!
That is pretty crazy. Because now, like, I was kind of looking at myself, and I was like, man, now I am my dad. Like, this is nuts to me, and
that's awesome.
Like, it's very, very awesome, and I'm just kind of just thinking, like, man, but yeah, I really started training whenever I was 15 years old. I started doing a little bit of a jiu-jitsu. Actually, I did a lot of jiu-jitsu. Like I would do boxing with my dad's probably on the weekends. At most, because he was always working like 12-hour shifts on his job, Monday through Saturday, and like he'd just be exhausted by that time. So if he had a Saturday off, he would show us some, but Sundays were just for resting. He didn't do anything else. We went to eat and all that stuff. So it was just a brutal week just for like us to, kind of relax on Sundays. So it was very seldom, but I did learn a lot from him. And then after that, that's whenever I started training. And then once I was 18, that's whenever I found my coach, Saul Solis.
Right.
And that's whenever I officially like started actually striking. Like I started doing kickboxing, Muay Thai, and all that stuff. But I really just fell in love with the hands, like studied the sport. Like I would sit back and actually like watch breakdowns like almost every weekend. And I was watching like Jack Slacks, and there's another guy, I forget his name, Willie Pep or whatever. Yeah, it's Willie's something. He has like a whole series and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah, a whole bunch of stuff.
Cool.
Well, and it's funny though because you mentioned like jujitsu though, but I mean, have we even really gotten to see any of that yet?
Oh no, that's my best hidden kept secret.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I started off in jiu-jitsu. I
Like,
got to
who
my
knew?
purple belt. I got to my purple belt in 3 years, and I was like just doing like competitions and all that stuff. And I had my first fight at 17, and I barely knew how to throw a jab and a cross whenever I was in there. And then after that, like I was like found my coach, and after that I became a striker. And
Yeah.
I do fall back to my jiu-jitsu like whenever I'm like in training, but I don't whenever I'm fighting because I just love like Houston court's my finest. I like to swing and bang.
Yeah, I dig that.
How's
That's
your
really
ear?
Oh, wrong side.
Yeah.
Wait, no, it actually is the right side. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's gotten a lot better. It doesn't look as bad. It wasn't
Oh.
blown up, but
Yeah, it was
yeah.
bad, dude.
Yeah, now it's
Oh.
there. Now it's I
It's
don't think
still a
it's
little
getting any smaller than that. Yeah,
squishy.
just slightly, just very, very
Just a tiny
slightly. But
bit squishy.
I had to use bigger needles, and I'm not. I'm kind of afraid to use bigger needles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get punched in the face for a living, but as soon as I see those needles, I'm breaking the cold sweats. I get nervous and just
Oh
like can't do
man.
it.
You need to get the nurse to come in and just like prick you real quick.
Oh man, yeah, no. The UFC doctor, as soon as he pulled the needles out, I accidentally took a look, and I turned white. I was like, yep, nope, not doing that. Drained it, and I said a couple words, and then I just was just like, I'm never doing that again.
That's so
Yikes.
funny. That's so
Yikes.
funny.
Hey, so what do you do when I mean now you're gonna be up all random hours. So if you're sitting down in front of the TV, like if you're putting on Netflix or HBO or whatever, like what are you watching? Do you have any hobbies? Like what do you do when you're not fighting? I know it's all about to be consumed with baby stuff, but
Oh yeah, no, I was like like I kind of would just come home after training and just play like a lot of like video games and all that stuff. Just like Apex Legends. I'm really big into that. That's one of my
Oh,
well, because
favorites.
we are streaming on
okay.
Twitch right now, and you guys might have to play
maybe
on
we
Twitch
could
sometime.
like team up.
I
We
love
usually
Apex.
play.
I usually play either so ever since they came out with Ash, I've been maining her for a little bit, but I do
Okay.
play that random. I do play Fuse on Apex, and then every once in a while, if I get the chance, I'll play Mirage and Octane.
Okay. So we don't have any competing characters. I usually play
Yeah.
with Bangalore or Lifeline, but I suck. You might not want to invite me in, but
No, trust me, I'm on that page too. I think I have a couple of good games every once in a while, like, and I'll post my good games every once in a while. But after that, I'm
that's
like
it.
I'll message people like if they have like if we get a win, I'll just text them like thank you for the hard carry.
So wait, for those of us who don't play a lot of games, is that what kind of game is that one?
That's pretty much like it's a I don't how do I explain that game? It's pretty much
Is
like
it
a
RPG?
First
Is it
person
like
shooter.
Yeah. Okay,
first person shooter.
What do you call it when you die immediately?
like a battle royale.
Battle Royale, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. There it is.
Okay.
Battle
Yeah,
Royale
Okay.
first person shooter.
Then
Yeah.
this one's pretty fun. It kind of it's in the mix. It's like a in between version of like a Fortnite and Call of Duty because it still has like a
Okay.
little bit of like a character type of deal in it. So like it's not like all the way 100% hardcore like blood, guts, and everywhere, but just also still kind of cartoonish
Arms.
where it's just good enough.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. You could play it in front of your son. He won't
oh yeah,
be
yeah.
traumatized.
I'm
Yeah. Nice. All right. We might have to squat up one day.
down.
Nice.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
because I'm
Ninja-
terrible. I'm terrible at them. But that, so yeah, so you're,
Kara's
so
like,
you're
I'm not doing this.
major game. No, it's funny actually. No, I like my old school games. I like my Centipede.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I need one of those. I bought once. You know they sell those old school Atari things where you like it's preloaded with a bunch of games. And so I was thinking I wanted to get another one of those to take to Vegas every weekend because we're always working. and just staying in that hotel, the same hotel. And I'm pretty much almost always in the exact same room and everything too. And I was like, well, if I have this thing, I could like leave it there or tidy, you know what I mean? Or I could like leave it at work and just grab it when I'm there and just play in the hotel room or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I always bring my my SNES, my Super Nintendo, or one of those Neo Geo or something like that.
Right. Well, the kiddo was playing her.
Oh.
Did we lose her?
A little bit. I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have one more. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey.
Go ahead.
One more question because I know you gotta go.
Yeah.
You said your boxing is the best in the UFC. Who do you think is your biggest competition when it comes to that title of best boxing? Not best dad boxing, but just best boxing.
Oh yeah, Max Holloway can come get that too, man.
Best dad boxing.
Yeah, I'm here with it. You know, I would pick on Daniel Cormier, but he's retired. So I want to pick on old people, but
oh man, that's savage! Pick on him right there. Oh, that hurt me.
Yeah. Well, I got real salty when I found out that Dr. Pepper was sending him stuff and not me, so I got
What's
real
up with
salty.
that?
Yeah.
They sent me some Dr. Pepper, like the chocolate Dr. Pepper to try out and everything.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool. And
was it good?
they'll I haven't tried it. I was supposed to take it with me to Vegas after the Davey fight, but there was just everything was kind of like I was gonna do it like live and do it live freaking taste testing, but everything was just so hectic at the time that I was just like, I'm just not. I'm just not. So luckily I still have it at home. It's waiting for me back at home, so I'll probably do it for Christmas or something. But yeah. They still DM me every once in a while, and they'll still retweet me on Twitter, but I'm just like, yeah, that's good enough. But keep sending me some stuff if you can.
They gotta send you more. You were out here working for them. Like we did a bunch of stories about it on the show. We were all talking about that. We were choosing sides and all this stuff. By the way, I'm Team Dr. Pepper. I don't really care for peanut butter, so of course I took Dr. Pepper in that one. But you know, it's just you should be getting more.
Yeah, you should be getting
little plug.
Oh wow! Okay, perfect timing.
Yeah. But to revert back to your question, it's definitely Peter Yan.
Okay.
I'll go all the way back around.
To the competition.
There we go. It's Peter Yan, but I'll make it look easy.
Yeah, you do. You make it look a lot easier than him. His is very like a lot of tension there, a lot of like tightly coiled muscles.
High guard stuff that he does, and he's like very like touch and go type of deals, but he does do a really good job to make adjustments, and especially in an MMA fight he has the luxury of throwing those kicks. But if we just kind of just revert it back down to just straight boxing, and he's just only gonna have the two weapons that he has, and I think with the high guard the high guard game that he plays, I feel I'd be able to pick it apart. Because I love whenever guys got like when we just do the boxing sparring. Oh yeah, like I love when people just have a high guard. I love it because I love tearing it down. So that's my favorite part. So yeah, it would definitely be Yan for sure, but definitely a close second with just hands is definitely Julio Arce. Third would probably be actually tied for 2 is Max Holloway just because of volume. Number 3, just because he's bigger than me, and I feel like he's really good, is Dustin Poirier. But
nice.
You know, a lot of these guys, like, if you beef me up, you know, put me on that Brazilian acai and all that stuff, I'll probably be able to do some things.
Hey,
well, that's the whole thing is in the future. Well, you know, and with Yan too, you'll have I maybe a 2.5-3 inch reach advantage at least, right?
Yeah, he's at a 67, right?
I think so.
67 inch reach. I got it depends, because some people say I'm 70 or 69.5. Some people will say some like because back in the day, like I can't remember the last time I did it with the UFC, but I think whenever I was at the UFC, they said 70, but some people said 70.5, some people said 69.5, but it's, I think it's 70 for sure.
Yeah, because I think he's like 5'5" or 6, right? And you're 5'8", 5'7", 8.
Yeah, 5'7".
Yeah.
Yeah, he's tiny, man. He looks smaller in person too, because he's so compact. So
and he's so muscular.
Heavy.
Yeah, exactly. He's so thick. He's so thick.
And heavy.
But like I've always noticed that those guys are the hardest ones to spar because they're just so compact and tight that like they just have that little twist to just throw that overhand or overhook.
Yeah.
Oh, it's weird.
And then they turn into a ball.
Yeah.
There's nothing, no way to get in. There's like a little ball.
I remember being 18 and sparring one of those guys, like one of those little Russian guys, shorter than me, just super compact, and just me thinking like, well, man, I kind of want to make it a little competitive with myself because like I was like, God, let me try shooting on this guy. I shot in, and I felt like I ran into a brick wall.
Mm-hmm.
Like he stayed in his boxer stance and everything, and I'm over here trying to hit a blast double on him, and like I just ran into a brick wall, and I was just like, I got up, shook myself off, and I was like, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah, like you don't know if it was a hip bone, if it was an elbow, you just know it hurt.
Yeah, it just hurt. I just said, okay, I'll stop.
That's funny.
Well, listen, we know you are in the hospital and you have a lot to deal with, but we just really are so psyched that you could do this. And like we said, like you were the number one name when we asked everybody who they wanted to hear from. So I know that's got to feel good. I know you said you're still a fan, but you got to start to, recognize that you're building your name, and it's really great. Like you're just off to such a great start. So, thank you. And
thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for having me on. This was fun to me. Yeah, this was fun. Merry Christmas, y'all. Happy holidays. Have a happy New Year. I'm so glad my son came 2 weeks before Christmas because now it's like I don't have to buy so many presents on Christmas. But
they'll be buying you presents. You get all the baby stuff.
I just got the stank look, so
you're like, I know who you're buying a present.
I know you better get
one person.
Somebody.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's awesome. But well, thank you so much, and congrats on all your success so far. And I guess we'll see you in April or so, right?
Oh yeah, April, May. I kind of always wanted to do that Mexican thing and fight around Cinco de Mayo, so I think that would be a great thing to do.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Looking forward to it. Cool. And thank your missus for letting you take some time away from me.
Oh yeah, no. Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much. They said thank you so much for letting me have this time. She just laughed. She's rolling him around. All right. Thank y'all so much.
So sweet. That's awesome. Have a great evening. Bye. Oh my God, I love that.
Oh, I can't take it. I can't take it. I'm so emotional right now.
Dude, like he said every single thing you're supposed to say as a new father. Like literally every single perfect thing you're supposed to say.
I know, it's so sweet.
Wow.
I want to be a father.
What a good dude.
He's a good dude. He's a real good dude. So humble too. Like I love that he knows how to ride the line of humble but confident. Really well. Because he's feeling himself right now, but he's also still in awe of the fact that he actually got there. Because when you're growing up around martial arts, around like the MMA scene, you see a lot of people who have beat up stars, who could beat up stars, but they never get to that next level. They never break it into the big scene. So I think there's a lot of respect there for the fact that he was able to make it against a lot of odds. There's not that many fighters in the UFC, and there's thousands among thousands who could be, who have the skills to be. So it's really cute to see that little young man of his little young son being all humble and he's just a killer in there. I love it.
I love it too. And I'm not kidding. We talk about him a lot at work. And even when he's not fighting, he's a guy that gets referenced a lot. You know what I mean? When we're talking about other bantams and
stays in people's minds.
He's in our minds, and he's definitely a person that we all at work were like, this dude is a rising star. Like there's no doubt about it. Like it's just a fact. So it's kind of cool. I'm just curious if people agree that, but some people are talking about some of the other things, but some of the things that we talked about, I kind of wanted to follow up on, and the Cody thing, and so he goes down in weight. Kai Kara France is no joke.
He's a monster, man. He's
so
sick.
Good.
He's really good. Yeah.
And so where does Cody go from here? Because do you think, okay, well, he made the cut and that's just not where he should be? He was too depleted. He needs to go back to 35, or does he go, that was not the right, that's not a real test because it's just the first time I need to judge it on 2 fights, or what do we do?
I don't know. I think he just fought the wrong guy, Like I think it's a tough fight to go down and fight, but also Cody has taken a lot of damage. So you have to wonder, you're not really going to know until he has his next fight. Like, and if he doesn't have it at 125, then we're never going to know. But if he has another fight at 125 and he does well, he gets hit, he doesn't go down, then that's a good sign that maybe he just fought the wrong kid. He fought someone who's on a tear, who's a knockout artist, and everyone else is going to have problems with him. Like you said,
but he's never going to get an easy fight. He's Cody Garbrandt.
What's that?
He's never going to get an easy fight. He's Cody Garbrandt.
He can fight grapplers. He can fight people who go to decision a lot and win decisions. Like no fight is easy. But when you're fighting someone who has that,
are scrappy.
Yeah, but not many 25ers have that touch of death, and I think that's why he went down in the first place. Like it's the same with strawweights. A lot of us don't have that power to just put someone down. Like most don't, because it's a physics thing. You got to be able to move the head and take enough force and knock the head off of the block, And you don't see that often at 25 or at 35, but definitely more often at 35. So I think he went down because he could. And because, the Chin's gone through some wars. And if he's going to get in a war, maybe getting in a war against someone a little smaller would be a better idea. Yeah. But Kai Kara-France, he has knocked out a lot of people. So it was a big test. And I think if he went up against someone who didn't have to necessarily have that nasty knockout power, which a lot of those flyweights don't, then he could actually show his skill set and be a little more successful. So it sucks because whenever you do something new as a fighter, everyone's like, you shouldn't have done that new thing, It sucks because maybe he's on the right course, but he just got unlucky. He just
the wrong guy
went up against someone who he was never going to beat, at 35 or at 25. So, it's hard to say.
Yeah, it was a tough one because Cody is a good dude. I like him a lot, but so is Kai. And, when you see somebody like Kai being able to still be on the rise, and you knew that that's such a huge feather in his cap, it was, it was one of those fights. You're like, geez, that sucks. Like, you're happy for one, you're happy for one dude. You're sad for the other. It's kind of the way it goes. I do feel that I just want to look if there was any comments here or whatever. Joe is saying he liked the effort of him trying 125. He can make it. It's just that Kai is a beast. And showed why he's number 6. So that's kind of like what you were saying, Ange. But and he's always going to be a draw, right? Mike Barat says that Cody's always a draw. He's always going to get big fights and stuff. So here's the thing. We have said this before on the show that I even tweeted it, that in the main event, we had 2 incredible options for champions in Charles Oliveira and Dustin Poirier, but that I was very clearly a super fan of one of those. And so I was quite pleased with the win last night.
Bet you were. I bet you were having a little mini heart attack, though.
Yeah, my daughter even said, she's like, you sound like you're having a panic attack. And she doesn't talk like that. But I was bugging out. Out because that was a great fight. And so here's my thing is Poirier is so good and such a great guy and a humanitarian. He does so many good things for people. I just have been an Oliveira fan for forever. So that's just I've just been like a ride or die fan of his, even when he lost, even before when everybody said he was a quitter, even with the weird Nick Lentz fights, all this stuff. I'm like, nah, man, no.
What is it about you? What is it not about you? What is it about him that makes you such a diehard?
Back in those days, I admit, he was inconsistent. But when he was on, he was so freaking on, right? And the climb, the submission, I'm just going to jump up here and get one. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. The ability and the creativity that he has with submissions, I was very impressed with. But I'm not going to lie. I think there's something, I just like his look, the super sharp, angled. He looks like a I don't know.
Like
it's like a predator, like a lizard killer, no. I think it's so. I don't know.
I saw a camel.
I sound like a freakazoid, but like he looks like he's like built for
like a dinosaur man.
Yeah, like if I was, you know how I told you I like to play Baraka if I'm playing Mortal Kombat. Like he looks like he'd be a cool Mortal Kombat character that was like half reptilian, half man. You know what I mean? Like there's something about him. And then when he kicks in with the blonde hair, I was like, oh no! Like there's something that looks very striking, and he's so lanky. And I don't even know. Like, I don't know. I just was a fan. And
I
like
think we need to go to the chat and find out what animal he actually looks like.
Yeah,
I feel like he's more of like in the camel giraffe category, like something, because he has like the long face and he has like the like.
I see what you're saying. He does have a long eyes,
long face.
People are laughing, Mr. Mr. Afu-sensi.
Oh, what?
I'm saying lizard killer. But I mean that in like the best way. Like I mean
lizard
it
killer MMA.
A gecko. No, it's like I mean it's a compliment of like a killer gecko. Like he does. He looks so badass to me. I don't know what it is. Like, and
he looks like when they what is that thing called? Deviant art. When they do deviant art, and it'll be like a lizard man in a suit.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's what he looked like going to the press
and
conference, like a hot lizard man.
right. And everybody thinks that like aliens or lizards. So maybe that's it. Maybe he's from another planet, and he's like from the planet Jiu-Jitsu. He's from the planet of mother freaking Jiu-Jitsu.
Planet Kimura.
So the funny thing is again, like so Kiddo was like sitting with me watching, and she was drawing or whatever. And she used to take Jiu-Jitsu with Cobrinha actually. And because he's so close and he's amazing, we were like, oh my god, if you could train with Cobrinha, who won the Grand Slam, like why wouldn't you? Well, guess what? It's a really competitive gym, and the people who go there to train with Cobrinha are really, really competitive because he is the best. So she wasn't really that into it, but anyway, we would go over there all the time. So she knows a little bit about jiu-jitsu because she went up there.
Was that your sister?
Daughter.
Oh, your daughter. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. So she went there for a little while. So she knows, she knows a little bit about jiu-jitsu. So Charles is making them walk. I'm like, baby girl. He's got the most submissions in the whole UFC. And like, even she was like, really? And I was like, yeah, baby, like of all time, like the most, like all of them. Like, and then she's like, that's pretty cool, And so then when we're watching, and there he is, like climbing up on his back, I'm like, look at this, you know what I mean? And she's like, yeah okay, that's actually pretty cool, actually, And I was like, like, it's impressive. I just
that's a really big reaction from a teenager.
Dude, huge. That's a lot. People
that's
massive. That's massive. But I think that's what it is I just really enjoy seeing excellence in motion, right? Like I see, like it's like when you see the people who are the best at what they do, it's just fun to watch. And to me, he's just really fun to watch.
Yeah, for sure. He is. I mean, that fight proved it. He was very fun in that fight. Even when he got dropped, he like went for some kind of like takedown and like landed on his back and then popped up real quick. I was like, whoa, what's happening? He's incredible. Like, definitely, going to be really hard to beat in the future, especially since, he already took out Poirier. He took out, who was it before? Michael Chandler. So Gaethje's probably going to be next. I don't know. What does the chat think about that one? How that's going to unfold if that happens.
Yeah. What do you guys think about Gaethje versus Oliveira?
And I know people are still debating about Nunes versus Pena, whether Pena actually won or did Nunes just ruin it for herself and not come in prepared. I really feel like I wish she'd gone to the press conference, because I feel like the reason people are saying these things is because she didn't give an excuse. Like people love to hear from the loser, like what happened? Why did you do that?
Well, what happened?
You gotta tell us why you let this shit happen.
Because
and $47,000 on you.
That's what I was gonna say. People are gonna start with the conspiracy theories of like, I heard she was hurt, and I'm not gonna lie. from some people in the camp. Like I mean, or I didn't hear from people in the camp, but there were things swirling that maybe she had an injury during camp, but I don't know if that's true or not.
Oh, was it a jaw injury?
No, that's the whole thing. So even the alleged thing had nothing to do with what I saw in the fight. You know what I mean? So like, I don't believe it now. You know what I mean? And yeah, so yes, you're right, though. If she had gone to the press conference, we would have had some kind of clarity or closure or something on what exactly happened. But, maybe she will talk. But I'm sorry, I was just laughing because somebody said that Shawnee said that I was writing the script to Jurassic Park, the next Jurassic Park, with Oliveira being the lizard man that comes back to kill people. That's funny. Man. That just made me laugh. I'm sorry, that made me laugh. But yeah, what do people think? Some people are saying they thought they heard that Amanda didn't even really train that hard. She said people are saying that Julianna said that she heard that American Top Team wasn't taking her seriously. That I guess so. Maybe look at that is a distinct possibility that they underestimated Julianna.
I mean, yeah, but when so much is at stake. Like you're not.
But if you've been the champ for that long, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here because I'm the biggest Amanda fan.
Yeah.
Devil's advocate. Yeah. What if she was getting comfortable, and what if she was not, not taking her seriously enough, and figured, Jermaine beat her and subbed her, and I can do the same because she'll overreact and I can counter her.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just think that's such a weird thing to happen to someone who's shown up so many times and outperformed what we expected her to. Yeah, I know you don't believe it, but you have to be the voice of these people who come in with these crazy accusations. It's just really hard for me to believe that someone who has been so responsible, if anything, maybe like her home life, maybe being a mom is actually pretty hard when you didn't pregnant her. Maybe it's pretty hard. Maybe that took away from some of her training. Possible. Maybe she had to be there for Nina a little bit more. I know she got injured, and I'm actually fighting the bitch Nina was supposed to fight. Thanks, Nina. But but who knows what was going on in her home life? What was going on in the cage? Like
maybe it was more time losing weight and less time training, right?
Yeah, like the one moment I did think, something's up was the first round when Amanda was on top of Pena and she was just smiling. And like at first I was like, look, she's playing with her food. But then I was like, wait a second, she should be like trying to finish this thing. Like she should be hunting for an arm, trying to like lock something up, lock up a choke or something, or put her back on her back. But instead she was just kind of holding and stalling from a really good position where she can transition to being on top of Pena and just being a good place to finish the fight. But instead she kind of sat there and chilled, and then Pena was able to work back up to her feet. So maybe that was the moment where she was like, whew, I'm a little tired, like maybe that was the moment that she was like, whew, this might be a little harder than I thought. And then going into the second round, I don't think she was being sloppy until she got rocked. I think once she got rocked, she was like, oh shit, and tried to punch her way out of it. And that's really what I saw. I didn't see her being sloppy up until that point, aside from when she was chilling on top of her.
I have a question. So that's exactly my question for you, Ange, is because obviously Amanda has a higher fight IQ than that. So at what point in a fight, and I know you know this too, and it's happened to you, and you have your strategy, you have your game plan, you know what you're going to do, and then a bitch pops you and it's out the window, right? So like how often, how hard is it to maintain that composure of the strategy and the through line when you're getting lit up like that?
I don't know. I've never been hit like that. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's like strawweights or something, because like, I feel like the hardest I've been hit was the Andrade fight, and all that did was go, okay, time to go, like we're not filling each other out. We're fighting, right. So it's,
but you were still able to stick to your game plan. You didn't just get drawn into a firefight.
No, because like our plan was to move backwards and to hit as she charged forward, and that's pretty much all I could do, you know. So if anything, the game plan worked, it just didn't work enough. But in this case, I don't think they prepared for getting rocked, you know? And when you do get rocked, like a lot of times you don't know what's happening. You don't remember what's happening.
Because it hasn't really happened to Amanda either, really.
And you kind of have goldfish brain, I think, where like, I see, and I can't even speak from experience because I haven't been rocked like in a fight, you know, like I get hit hard, but I'm not wobbling and losing memory and stuff or forgetting parts of the fight. But like when you get rocked, your brain resets. Your brain resets and you're like, oh shit, I'm fighting. Boom. And then you get rocked again and your brain resets and you're like, oh shit, I'm fighting. And like the one thing that I was most surprised is that she didn't try to grab her or shoot on her, because that's usually the response when you get hurt and you're not expecting it and you have good wrestling like Amanda does. You're like, oh, time to grab, you know, no more of that. And I was really surprised that she didn't go to that. I think maybe she thought, and in the Cyborg fight, I do feel like she got hit a little bit because their Cyborg did connect and throw her chin back and like snapped her head back. But I feel like maybe she thought, and I've done this before, where I see a situation that might be not smart, but it worked out for me a fight before. And I'm like, you know, it might be not smart to throw 10 knees in a row, but last time I did it, I got the knockout. So then you do it this time and then you get taken down. So I've been in that situation where I'm like, this might be a dumb decision, but it worked out for me in my last fight. So I'm gonna do it again.
Every now and then.
And I think maybe when she got rocked, but she was still in the range to hit Pena back, maybe she was like, well, this happened with Cyborg. I'm gonna just keep hitting her because that worked last time, but it didn't work this time. So I have a lot of theories that could have been related to Nunes not just being shit all of a sudden. And that's what MMA fans like to do. They like to say, "Oh,
they can turn on people.
Nunes is shit." Pena, but so is Pena. You know, like just give the girl her credit. Give Pena her credit. Give Nunes her credit too. They're both great fighters, and Pena just like she just scammed all of us.
She backed up what she said. She said she was going to do it.
Yeah, she told us she was going to believe her,
and then she did the damn thing she said she was going to do. Like you're like, I got to give it up to you. Like, what are you going to do? You know it. Yeah, I listen. I think part of it is, maybe, you know, it's not like Amanda's really been rocked. Like you said, Cyborg maybe landed a little bit on her, but nobody else has really challenged Amanda like that. And also maybe the hesitancy was, okay, wow, I'm getting lit up here on the feet, and I'm surprised I'm getting lit up here on the feet. But Julianna's even more, she's even better on the ground, right? Is what the storyline was before this fight. Is that if there was a way for Julianna to win, it was on the canvas, which ultimately she did win. But if anything, so maybe Amanda was like, well, shoot, even though I'm getting touched up here, this is still actually the lesser of two evils because I'm really powerful. But yeah, she didn't seem as powerful on Saturday. So I don't know.
She didn't seem to I mean, she didn't have that hiccup with Felicia Spencer. And that was also the storyline. So maybe there was just a lapse in confidence all of a sudden because she was on top of Pena and she didn't want to do anything with it. So I don't know. It's kind of hard and you can never really judge how good someone's going to be on the ground until you actually go to the ground with them and wrestle it out. And Nunes has not seemed afraid of any grappler that she's faced until this one. So definitely interesting the way it played out.
No, I know. And what people are saying too, though, that it was, you know, it's been a while since she's fought at 35, you know, and so,
so like what you were saying with the weight cut thing, like that has to be hard. Like I always talk about going down to atomweight. Like if they put in the atomweight in UFC,
you would be so mean.
You little bitches better watch out. But I fought at atomweight before. It was a long time ago, but I fought at atomweight before, and it would just be so hard to feel strong in both. Like if I were to go down to atom weight, I have to lose so much muscle and body mass just to make weight. And then if I wanted to go back to 115, I'd look like a stick again. And like when my first fights in the UFC, I was a stick, and then I started beefing up, and now I feel like a little more competitive size, but to go back down to 105 would be really hard. So the jump back and forth, even if it's like twice a year, it's still a lot of changing your body and it's something like when I talk about beefing up, it took me like a good 5 years of just eating a lot and lifting weights and putting muscle that wasn't just gonna fall off of me as soon as I skipped a meal. And it has to be hard. It has to be hard to go in between the weight classes and still feel strong in both. Like you really sacrifice one for the other if you're bouncing back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so was there anything else that really stood out to you last night? And maybe we can look and see if the fans had anything too. Was there any other fight? Everybody, that Erin Blanchfield, people talking about her now.
Yeah, that was a good fight. That was surprising how dominant she was.
I know Miranda was frustrated.
Yeah, I hadn't seen her fight before, so maybe that's why I was so surprised. Blanchfield, that is. But Miranda has always looked very well-rounded, looked like, a force in every part of the game. And Blanchfield was just like, nope, we're going down, baby. And she just kept sitting on her and transitioning and hitting her. And then when it got back up, she'd do some other cool trip. It was really cool to watch. So, she put on a masterclass for like takedowns in MMA and how to really like wrestle up somebody, and didn't get the submission, right? Didn't get a finish, but it was very dominant fight. Yeah. It was a good fight. It was a good fight. So very impressive about her. I was just gonna mention the flyweight, Jillian Robinson. Got that submission too. She has the most submissions in flyweight history. Very impressive. Right. Yeah. So that was a big one for her as well. And your boy Dom.
That's what I was going to ask you about. Dominick Cruz. Dominick Cruz getting the win over Pedro Munoz. It was a very competitive fight. The first round was Pedro's, second round, and third were Dom's. What did you think? I mean, it's funny because what I didn't like was going into this week and into the fight, there was this whole thing because Dominick had criticized DC's preparation for fight nights and said that DC doesn't watch film and DC doesn't do this and doesn't do that. And I thought that was unfortunate. I don't like when you don't like when your friends get into a disagreement at work or it's like you're all supposed to be a family. You're not supposed to do that. And even if we have those feelings, you don't take it out to the public. You would keep that inside.
I'm like, please, nobody ask Dom what he thinks about my work. Don't ask him.
Exactly.
I don't want to know.
Right. So I was bummed about that, and I didn't like the tension and the attention as well that it brought to it this week. But it's always stressful to watch Dominick fight. I had two teammates fighting last night because Santiago Ponzinibbio fought as well against Jeff Neal, and that was a close fight, and he lost. That was a split decision, I believe, right? So I was bummed because Santiago is a really good guy. I like seeing him at work. We work a lot of the same weekends that, I see him all the time. And, again, it's like the veteran guys, you root for your homies and stuff. And so I had two homies on the card. And with Dominick, I just get nervous because with the injuries that he's had, I'm always wondering how healthy is he really going into this fight, And even though we were talking about Jose Aldo and some of these people being younger than you think, in a lot of ways, Dominick's body is older than he is, because of the injuries. No, but because of the injuries he's had to deal with. I feel like it sucks. It's just like his fighting spirit is what? His fight, I'm so not trying to be mean. You're laughing, but you know what I mean. He wants to fight so bad, and his body's like, nope, they're taking 2 years off. Like, it sucks.
Oh my god! I just imagine like Benjamin Button or like Dom's head on like Mr. Burns' body.
Mr. Burns, I'll fight you one more time. You're right.
All of his injuries are actually holding them together.
Oh snap!
If you fix an MCL, then they'll throw everything else off. You just gotta keep it all injured. Yeah, man. Dom, I mean, he is the best inspiration story for anyone who has been frustrated from getting injured at a gym, getting set back, you know, having to pull out of fights, being out for like 1, 2, 3 years and then trying to make a comeback. He's the best inspirational story for that person because, dude, like he comes back and it's like he didn't miss a step. Like I was really worried for him this fight because
me too.
Munoz is a knockout artist. He's so good. His leg kicks are scary. Like he posed so many problems for Dom, and he answered them all, especially since he was given the chance to come back and not waved off like some chick fight. They actually they actually let him fight it out, get in. I think Dom learned from that experience too, because he wasn't just on the leg and trying to come up. He was on the leg and he was rolling. He was moving, rocking back and forth. He's like, I'm alive down here. I'm alive. Don't
you dare call this.
Don't you fucking dare. So yeah, kudos to Dom for, you know, not just complaining about the situation, but finding a way to stop it from happening in the future. I mean, that's like his whole deal is like, you are the person who manifests your destiny. So you can complain about something, but fix it yourself. You're the only person you have control over. So figure out a way around that thing. And that was perfect. He played that perfectly. He got rocked, but he was able to come back. And Munoz was just like so frustrated from missing him and getting stung like 2 or 3 times for every one punch he would land. So very good job, Dominick. Bravo. Masterclass over there. Masterclass in footwork, bobbing and weaving, being weird, hitting when you're not supposed to be able to hit. You know, Dom has all the cool moves. Was happy to see that.
Well, Queen Boudica Radiant is saying she didn't used to care for Dominick's attitude, but she really likes him now.
He's like that stank character on a sitcom that you actually like. You can't wait to hear what they say about a situation. You know what I mean? Like, you ever watch Parks and Rec? And there was like the gay guy on there who would always say something like really snide, but then after a while, you're just like, oh, I can't wait for him to say something about this.
Dom is our beloved curmudgeon-y old man. At the age of 30, whatever he is. His body
and his mind is old.
He's our crusty old neighbor, bless his heart, and don't ever
all of
change.
him is old except for his stamina.
And I say that all with love. I do. I love him, but Dom is a one of a kind dude, man. He really is.
He is.
So listen, I feel like we should use this time that we have as a little bit of a pre-fight interview for you, because folks who should know, Angie is fighting on Saturday. We have one fight night left for this year. I will be working this one. I'm very excited. But as I just said, last night I had 2 of my homie coworkers fighting and working. Yes, they were at work. And that was very stressful. So now I get to actually be on the premises when you fight. Oh, great. Hooray. So much fun. So just please get it over with early. But yes, you have a big fight coming up against Amanda Lemos. You are fighting on Saturday. So now that I know you posted some pictures and you were training with some girls and wrapping it up. So how did your last week go? How are you feeling as you approach this fight?
It went pretty good. Like I said, Adam's been in Paris this week, so I was on my own, but it was the taper down week, so he didn't really need to watch training too much. Okay. We weren't really going live. I did have a couple like light sparring, but it was more to feel like the timing of everything and the head movement and, you know, the little glove holes that they leave. So we did a little bit of that, but mostly just conditioning, keeping the cardio up. And yeah, that's about it. So last week was the last push, basically.
Okay, so if I remember correctly, you posted something about, like, well, usually you train with guys, but you're going to be fighting a woman, right? So it's important to train with women who train with guys, right? But you know, that does bring up a good point, because just by the law of how many women there are fighting, there's just never going to be as many female bodies in a gym as there are going to be guys, right? So how much of your camp is spent fighting and training with men versus women, and what are the pros and cons of each of those partners?
I've always trained with men my entire career. Like since I did my first Muay Thai class, a lot of times I was the only person in the room or the only girl in the room.
Yeah.
And, it makes you tough for sure. But I feel like a lot of times you can underestimate how good you are. And when you finally do get a girl who comes through, usually she's not as good as you. So you either have to hold back or you just smash her and then there's no girl anymore, So,
yeah, right.
So it's really rare to be in a place where you can have girls that aren't just female but are also skilled, that can actually push you, make you better, who can beat you up. Like that's so rare when you're at this level. And I've been able to get some of the girls in the San Diego area because there's like a few gyms sprinkled around here, and able to get them all together every now and then, like at least once a week or maybe like once every 2 weeks. And we'll just train, we'll spar, we'll share ideas, like talk about what was working, what wasn't. And it's a really, it's a really good environment because it makes me jealous of the guys because they don't have to organize that shit, like
right. It's just always there.
Yeah, it's always there. And I always explain it. Imagine the comparison of a girl only training with guys. Imagine a flyweight who only has welterweights to train with. Like, yeah, you can do it, but it's not realistic. You're not going to get the same looks. And a lot of the things that you're going to be successful against those bigger guys, the little guys aren't going to give it to you, the little guys aren't going to give you chokes. The little guys aren't going to be too slow to see your punches coming. Like they can keep up with you. So
that's the flexibility is going to be 100% different and everything, right?
With chicks, like their necks are smaller, so it's hard. They're flexible. It's hard to get arm bars. They're like tenacious, so they're not going to give up on shit too. Like I feel like when I'm doing wrestling, when I'm training wrestling with guys, they'll give up the takedown to either be nice or just be like, oh, well, she's smaller than me, so I'm not going to muscle it. And they'll give up the takedown way faster than a smaller chick would give up on the
because she'll be like, hell to the no, right?
Yeah, she's like, give me that leg. And it's good to get those looks because when you're in a fight and you're sprawling like you practice and they're not letting go of the leg, you're like, wait a second, this isn't how we work. This isn't how it happened in training against all these big guys that I train with. So it's really important to get those looks because they're not going to let you off. And they're also going to give you different openings that the guys don't give you, So I feel like it's been really good just training with chicks. I mostly train with girls now, aside from my husband and like a few other people that I grapple with and stuff, but I'm mostly training with girls right now. And I feel like it's just made my game day a lot more what do you call it? In practice, I'm practicing closer to the game day.
Right. It's going to mimic exactly. Yes. Yeah, exactly.
I feel like I'm doing dress rehearsal every time instead of, working with a guy who might not fit the mold. Like, like I'd be working with guys who are like a foot taller than me.
Yeah. And you're like, and they're right. Well, and I always think about the flexibility thing mostly because I know a lot of the time, when I'm at work and I see we're watching a woman's fight and stuff, they're like, holy crap, like they're just like, I can't do that. Like, what the heck, just stuff that a guy would tap to or whatever when it comes to hip things and the ability to be in a less split position or whatever like this, where the guys are freaking out. I'm like, and they just don't, the body composition is just so different. So, and the guys are going to be so much more top heavy and chest heavy and all this stuff. And
if you don't train with girls, it's going to be rare that you like roll with someone who inverts themselves, like throws their legs over their head and just like
over their head,
looks at you with their crotch in their face.
Like,
Like,
remember Tracy Cortez too? She's like, what? You know, and you're like, wait a minute, you just brought him up and behind, and you got your legs underneath my chin now, and I'm in mount. Yeah.
There's so many weird positions that you don't feel when you're rolling with guys that like girls are just like, whoop, I'm upside down. Whoop, whoop, whoop,
now
I'm on your back.
Exactly. Which is also why I'm really fun on Friday nights.
Exactly. Hey. So I've been working on that move for when Adam comes back from France.
Hey girl. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, but do you indulge before a fight? I remember Rhonda. Do you remember the whole thing? Because Rhonda was talking about it and she was like, well, yeah, I do, because it actually gets my testosterone up. But, you know, historically, the line was that boxers didn't do it because it took away their legs. So the people want to know, Ange.
I mean, I'm old. I'm barely adult anyway. I adult just as often as I do when I'm not fighting, if that says anything.
Okay. Yeah.
I do get superstitious about like
do you think there's
days before I get superstitious, but I'm not like going 2-3 weeks or a month or anything like that. Like,
not trying to starve yourself.
No, like you gotta chill, you gotta let your body recover, and that's like a great way to relax everything. It's just get that quick dicking in real quick.
Good. No, I'm glad. I'm happy for you. Yes, I wouldn't want to. Wouldn't want you to be too pent up, but at the same time, I do feel like people say that they like having that sense of needing a release, right? And so that's why some of the guys like they want to go. They want to be just over. You know what I mean? Like they want to be all charged up like that.
Yeah.
And if they do it too soon, too close to the fight, they're just like, they're not that worried about, you know.
Yeah, they're too chilling. They're too happy.
Right.
They're like relaxed. They're like,
they want to get.
I got a girl.
They want to get wound up
after this. I always thought it would help to like give someone blue balls, so then they're just like extra angry, and so like almost get to that point, like even like let the guy get off, and then you're just like.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
You go fuck a bitch
up. gotta go.
And then you're just like,
I'm not gonna. Okay, I feel like I'm allowed to say this story because there were stories. Remember Eric Silva? Inside this that you hear for there were stories that Eric Silva used to sometimes get right before he fought. You know how his record at the end wasn't so good.
Oh, is that why?
Maybe
he got taken care of.
Maybe he didn't have enough pent up energy before he walked out.
Man.
If is what I had heard, and I was like,
well, we know where his pent up energy was really coming from. I mean, his downfall is kind of documented. It's like parallel to the rise of USADA is his downfall.
Yeah,
so
well,
I don't think
that too. That too. I'm looking and seeing lots of comments. So, Angela, a lot of people are saying good luck to you. And they're really looking forward to you. And this person that looks like maybe her name is Anya, maybe she looks, I'm not sure, the yellow and blue, flat blue and yellow. Maybe I'm not exactly sure which one that is, but she's saying glad there's a big stream for WMMA. And you know, that is something that, you know, for those who are maybe just here and they haven't seen us before or whatever, but like, this is episode 44. And we know that there are a bunch of other podcasts out there, but you know, a lot of them are dudes and a lot of them, you know, whatever.
Smelly guys, big traps. Or skinny necks, and that's also bad.
I have a skinny neck, but so yes, for those of you looking for a safe place for the ladies, but also like newbies, there's no, you know, so we have, you know, a few minutes here if we want to, if people just have like general MMA questions or whatever, but like we're not going to sit up here and berate people for asking something that maybe seems basic. So even if you have a question of like, hey man, every time I'm on the show and they talk about an omoplata, I don't know what that is. Like, you know what I mean? That is interesting, but
demonstrate it on my dog.
But yes, Angie is very good with, but you know, speaking of which though, there were a couple of close calls last night. So Ryan Hall, Ryan Hall was interesting, working. He's on the record books now, like working for all his submissions. And I know for some people they don't necessarily like his style of fighting, but it's so interesting. And he really is. He walks out to the pinball wizard from the Who, from Tommy. He is the jiu-jitsu wizard. And I like Ryan. I worked his season of Ultimate Fighter. We did Tough Talks and all that, and he's an interesting guy. I know he's not everybody's favorite style of fighter, but if you really do like jiu-jitsu and grappling, it's very interesting to watch him.
Yeah, he does that thing that I didn't really get at first. Like, I thought he was just getting dropped every fight, but he actually like rope-a-dopes people into grappling with him. It's really insane. Like, I swear to God, every time he would get dropped, I thought he was like legit getting dropped, but he rolls. He does that roll thing like a lot of boxers do, where you like roll with the punch, but then he rolls with his entire body and slumps over, and you're just like, oh, I hurt him. It didn't feel like it hurt, but he's down. Right. Okay, let me jump on top of him, and then he's grabbing your leg, and it's like, he got me. Like, it's such a tricky little interesting way that he fights, and super frustrating. Like, I don't think he should be mad at people for not wanting to fight him, because fuck fighting that guy. That's like totally like fighting a bear trap. Like, I don't get a stick. Like, no, I'm not gonna fight him. He's gonna snap my leg, and I'm gonna be out forever. Like, and exactly, there's no way to look good against a guy like that, because it's so goofy and it's so like like weird that you can't really tell what's about to happen. And now he has spin kicks, so it's like it's gonna look totally weird. It's the weirdest combination of skills. It's like somebody just went ham in the creative character, and in EA UFC is just like, I'm gonna have spin kicks and what's that weird thing he does?
Imanari rolls.
Yeah, Imanari rolls. I'm just gonna have those two things. That's it. Nothing else.
But it's fun. Yeah, it's interesting. It's fun. That actually reminds me now. I might want to go get sushi for dinner. Ryan, Ilia Topuria did look good against him, but yes, but that's because he's another grappler, and whatever. But it's tough. Wise. So our question was answered. The blue and yellow flag is actually from Ukraine. Oh, so thank you. Yes, she wrote us back and said Ukraine, but yes. Let's see. People are saying they actually find Ryan exciting at 145. Because it is exciting.
That's, from my Twitch channel. Hey,
there you go.
_H was
nice.
Twitchers.
Oh, that's cool. How you can tell where it comes from. Right. Okay, cool. Oh, that makes sense. Very cool. Well, that's the whole thing, because remember last week when we had Charles Barnett on with us, and folks should look that one up. That's Beast Boy, Huggy Bear, which was a lot of fun. But remember when we were talking in our conversation, and he said something like, "Oh, it's times have changed, and you don't really get those specialists, because remember back in the day there was the Royce Gracies and the whatever." So Ryan Hall is a specialist, Damian Maia is almost done, and so or did he retire officially? I forget now. No, did he?
I don't know. I think he's still in the rankings.
Yeah, I don't think he officially retired, but he's 41 or 2 now, and so Damien is definitely, we know where he's going to stop sooner than later, probably, and so Ryan could be our new one. But so it is kind of cool that we have another specialist, because there's not a ton of specialists. What I like that's really fun before, and for folks who are joining us now, if you missed us earlier, Adrian Yanez was with us, and he is on the rise. He's an on the rise bantamweight, and we were talking to him about a lot of things. But the fact is that he is known for his striking so far in the UFC. And then he's like, but my secret weapon is grappling that I started in. So that's going to be a trip. If all of a sudden we see him sink a sub on somebody, that's going to be a trip.
I feel like he's going to be like Justin Gaethje. Like we'll know all about his credentials at some point, and he's never going to show it to us still. He's just like, nah.
I'll just do what's fun.
I'm going to punch him and knock him out.
But what's going to be fun, Angie, is when he's champ one day, and when we look back, and he'll be like, I was on what had happened was with Karyn and Angela way back when I was not even in the top 15. And we'll like, oh, look at that.
And we'll be as old as Dom's body on our 2,500th episode.
Hopefully I'll be in the contributor wing by then.
Hey,
we'll see.
There you go.
I mean, would that be pretty cool, right? I mean,
yeah. Wait, what are you talking about? The
Hall of Fame contributor wing
the
for
Hall
the
of
UFC.
Fame thing. Yeah,
By the
nobody
time
knows what
Adrian's
that is. Nobody knows what that is. You got to explain it to people.
Sorry.
I'm like, wait, I think that's what you're talking about.
The Hall of Fame contributor wing. I would like to be in it one day.
Yeah, I think you're gonna be in there. I think if you're in there, you should request a Madame Tussauds wax sculpture of yourself.
Nice. To be like, use the one you used for Halle Berry. Because her boobies
Yeah,
are
there you go. Just
her boobies are bigger. I'll take the upsize on the cup size.
They're gonna make you do a bruised version. Bruised Halle Berry.
Yeah.
Is that Karyn? I'm gonna tell my kids that was Karyn Bryant.
Totally.
Yes, I am the permanent co-host for.
Yes, I'm just gonna call you Anya, but I don't know if that's really your name.
Oh yeah, Anya. Anya, yeah.
But
permanent co-host of
what? Yeah. So what had happened was me and Angela. What had happened was me and Angela. Some people are saying, "Where's the funny Brazilian guy?" That's on Tuesday night festivities with Renato Laraja. But by the way, we do an after party, which Angela is going to be joining us on a lot of the time. It's just that she can't these last couple of weeks because baby girl is in fight camp and needs to go to bed on time.
This is like juice. I can only drink juice right now
because our after
nothing fun.
Our after party, because Tuesday night festivities starts at Wednesday. It's Tuesday nights. At 8:00 West Coast time. So it's 11:00 East Coast, because we do it kind of like a late night talk show. So by the time we get to the after party, it's around 9:15. And when Angie's in fight camp, she's in bed. But so after this week, she will be and get, so we want to blow that up. It's something that we're doing here on my YouTube channel and stuff. And it's just fun. Anthony Smith is on it with us all the time. And we just have a goofy time. So we just send out like some invites to people to come and join us, and we start the other part on IG Live. But Ange, like people are starting to realize this, we are expanding our technological universe here at What Had Happened Was. So this is the first week that we are also on your Twitch and on the old MMA Heat Facebook page, which people can still go to. I put all my new things over on the MMA Heat page, but I don't really promote that much because I feel like Facebook is kind of not really where it's at. So I don't really spend that much time promoting it. So we're going to probably lean on the YouTube and Twitch angle more.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's cool. I owe it to my Twitch followers.
I'll game with you sometime. I'll start a channel too and game with you. I just suck,
Yeah, no, it's me not having time to do it and be consistent. Like that's the only way you really grow. But we've been mad consistent with What Had Happened Was. So I feel good about at least giving them that. So then they have a reason to tune in. So yeah,
for sure,
Karyn, good idea.
Because like we said, this is episode 44, and so people, if you're just finding this for the first time, we also put them up over on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and iHeartRadio, and so you can find the downloads for that there. And then we put different clips up on our Instagram channels. So if you like I said, if you're just finding us now, welcome. If you've been here before. Hello. But either way, hit the sub button while you're here. And do people sub on Twitch? How does that work?
Yes. Yeah. I think you follow on Twitch. You can sub. Subbing is money. So, but I do have a sub button. So
she's
sub
gonna
if you
show
want.
you her, but no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. I'll show you my gaming, my game plan. You can sub if you want, but no pressure. Just tune in. Always tune in and watch and comment so people get wind and want to jump in and comment too. So thanks everyone. Thanks for joining in. Yes, I agree, Anya. Yesterday was a big day for MMA, WMMA. We talked about Blanchfield. We talked about I always mess up her name. Redhead monster on the ground.
Oh,
Jillian Robertson. We talked about her, and we talked about Pena, and it was a big day. Lots of crazy finishes, lots of crazy action. Yep, it's a good one.
Good stuff. Awesome. Well, so remember, folks, Angela is fighting next Saturday. I don't remember if this was an ESPN show or if it's on ESPN Plus next week.
I don't know.
But we'll look into it.
All I know is I'm gonna be in Vegas. I'm gonna punch a bitch.
BFS. It's BFS. So you go out on what, Tuesday?
Yes. We're going out on Tuesday. We're gonna.
When does Adam get back?
Fucked up afterwards. He gets back tomorrow, and then we're leaving Tuesday. So he gets no butcher time. No butcher time. He's gonna be so sad. But Butcher's chilling right now. He's poor thing. He's still recovering from his
his
injury.
leg. Yeah, last week. Folks,
yeah.
Remember it? Yeah, he had a little sprain. He broke it. No, his toe. You said he broke his toe.
Yeah, he broke his toe, and then the doctor, the vet, put this huge cast on it, like all the way up his leg. I'm like, why do you need all that for his toe? But I guess like dog anatomy, the toe connects all the way. I don't know.
Gotcha.
But yeah, now he's walking around like some Silent Hill monster, like all crazy looking. But yeah, we'll be good to go. We'll be good to go.
Nice.
And we could come home, take care of the bubs after that.
Nice. Yeah, well, we're gonna get crazy when you pick up that victory. So we'll go out on Saturday after the win. But yes, so on Tuesday night for Tuesday night festivities, we have Sergio Pettis is going to be our guest. You know, he just defended over there at Bellator with that ridiculous spinning back fist knockout. Where you're just like,
so
damn!
Nuts. I would have liked to come to that Tuesday night festivity,
dude. Like that knockout was like what? Yeah.
So you're gonna have to have him back when I can have a toast with him.
For sure. I'm really looking forward to having Sergio on. So yeah, that'll be Tuesday night. That part is on IG at 8:00 on my IG, which is at KB Heat. Over on Twitter and here on YouTube, it's Karyn Bryant, Karyn. Bryant, Dustin, Kobe, no relation, but may he rest in peace. Angela, where do people find you on social media?
You can find me at Instagram at Angie Overkill, Twitter at Angie Overkill, Twitch at Angie Overkill, and Overkill Hill on TikTok.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, folks. And yeah, you can also get this on an audio download, and you can find this here on YouTube and Twitch and Facebook, and they stay here forever. So thanks.
Look at my armpit.
What?
I said, don't look at my my arm is like all like deodorant white. I was trying to flex.
Nice. But yeah, thanks everybody for joining us. Happy holidays. Be safe out there while you're out there shopping. Don't get too crazy. Don't overextend your wallet.
Don't.
Just
keep
the
wallet tight. Keep the wallet tight. All right, bye guys.
See everybody. We're getting ridiculous now. Bye.